Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and this is the birth chart for Gucci Mane. There's no time for this chart, so this is not his rising. He's a sun in Aquarius, moon in Capricorn, with a north node in Leo. No wonder I like this guy. Let's take a look at the sun first. The sun is in Aquarius, and he is a famous rapper, puts himself out there, and you would think sun in Aquarius. That doesn't really make sense. Aquarius, the sun is in its fall in Aquarius, and it rules Leo, where it likes to be. However, the south node is in Aquarius, and the sun is conjunct the south node. South node's not here, it's on the screen, but it's here at 29 degrees. It's conjunct the sun, and that's where he's coming from. The south node being where he's coming from, it's in Aquarius as well, where the sun is in his fall. But because the sun is near that south node where he's coming from, the guy is coming from we could say he's coming from a place of being in the spotlight. He's actually coming from a place where the sun likes to be, with the sun conjunct the south node. He also has the north node in Leo, which is ruled by the sun. That's where he's headed. So this Leo Aquarius axis is really important for this guy. And some say that the 11th house in Aquarius can be a sign, or specifically I think the 11th house, but the sign Aquarius, we could say, could be a sign that has to do with fame. And this guy is very famous. And let's skip that moon for a second and look at this Uranus. I see this in charts that I do. If you watch these you'll see repeating themes with these people. And this one's no different, with Uranus squaring the nodes. And we can say, when you look at a chart like this, you could look at the Aquarius and we looked at the Leo, and we looked at the sun. Well, now we got to look. We can just go next and look at the ruler of Aquarius, which is Uranus, and we see it's squaring the nodes, and it's moving away from the north node. If you want to know where I'm getting this technique, I get it from evolutionary astrology. And in evolutionary astrology, when a planet is squaring the nodes like Uranus, and we look to the node that's moving away from, and that's the node that it's important for the person to focus on in this life. There is an indication of going back and forth between the two nodes, and there is a need to resolve or focus more on this north node to bring these two nodes into balance. And we can see the planet that we're focusing on is Uranus, and it's in Scorpio. So what are we talking about here with Uranus, Scorpio, squaring the nodes? The north node, Leo, being the node to focus on. Well, it has something to do with him putting himself out there, being center stage, Leo. Perhaps in the past he didn't want to be center stage, but he found himself being kind of shy, but maybe deep down he wanted to be in the spotlight. He wanted to show his individuality, Uranus, and it's in Scorpio. So we see this Uranus, the idea of individuality, wanting some need to express your individuality, to show your differences to people and accept that that's who you are, and not really care what other people think. And it's in Scorpio, so we see there's some business that has to do with business, maybe making money, other people's money, and it's quite possible that his rap, what he's done with him being a rapper, has a lot to do with this, with these placements here, because that would achieve, I think that, well, I don't think, I know that would achieve everything that I just mentioned. Let's take a look at the aspects to this Uranus, and we can see that if it's going to come back to that sun, it's squaring the sun as well, because the node, it's squaring the nodes. So again, I would say this is something, if you talk to him and got into his personal life, like I really don't know anything about him, so I'm just reading this one from the chart. But I bet he would tell you that this hasn't been easy for him to really express himself like that. We can take a look here and see if there's any other aspects. There is a sextile, an exact 60-degree sextile to Saturn in Virgo. So we can see there's an opportunity when it comes to everything that we mentioned with his work, with his work ethic, with Saturn there. So maybe this is a guy, this suggests that it's a guy who, to achieve this, he would have to work hard. He would have to have some work ethic, and it's in Virgo, some paying attention to detail, willingness to work routinely to accomplish this, which I'm willing to guess. Again, I don't know anything about this guy, but I'm guessing that he has great work ethic. And we see the, at least when it comes to achieving this, accomplishing these things I'm discussing here. And we see it's in the Taurus decan, so we could say, you know, when it comes to him making money, he probably has good work ethic. And it's retrograde. The Saturn is retrograde, so when Saturn is retrograde, it is pointing back to that Uranus as well. See here, he's got Mars and Jupiter in Virgo, retrograde in a conjunction, which is great for ambition. You can see it's retrograde with the opposite sign there with Mercury in Pisces. He probably has great ambition when it comes to achieving this dream, living a dream life, living a Neptunian life. And it comes back to this idea of ambition and work ethic and paying attention to detail, routines, all the things that Virgo are. Specifically, I think when it comes to these Neptunian things, the dream life, the big grand luxury life, he's probably very motivated to accomplish that. I'm not sure about. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's motivated and likes routine in any other aspects of life, although it's quite possible that he does. Now we see this Mars Jupiter moving away from the North Node. So in the beginning of this life, he's got some pretty good. It's a pretty good aspect to have moving away from the North Node, or we could say it's basically it's conjunct the North Node on the North Node. So he's coming up of a place from a place of abundance, success. You ever see people talking about abundance and they're really like, this could be a guy that would get on in front of a camera and talk about how abundance works and how to attract abundance. I mean, maybe there's some truths in what he's saying, but I mean, talking about a guy who's coming from a place of abundance, Jupiter conjunct the North Node, Jupiter moving away from the North Node. So of course he's going to be talking about abundance, and I see this all the time. It's quite disturbing. Just a little side rant when people do this, because it really means nothing from a scientific standpoint. They're just, really just speaking about their own life. But moving on. So he has Venus in Aries. Venus being the planet of money, Aries being that self-starter. Probably again more motivation to be a self-starter around making money. He wants to make money, wants to make quick money. I think a lot of the stuff that he does would be quick money. And we see the inconjunct to that Mars and Venus. It's a Scorpio inconjunct. We're going this way, which would have to do with this drive, motivation to make money, and all the stuff I talked about. Virgo, that quincunx pretty much explains it all. The drive to to make money, to do the work, to pay attention to details, make the adjustments, to make that Venus work there in Aries. Moon in Capricorn. I like this combination because my godmother has this combination, and I would say it's the I have the moon in Aquarius and the sun in Capricorn, so it's the opposite there. But with moon in Capricorn, more emphasis on being able to work hard, having that mentality of climbing the ladder. He probably loves the climb. Really features someone who mentally is concerned about status. And he's got a moon Jupiter trine. So even everything I said there about the Capricorn stuff, it's really being expanded by Jupiter. That Jupiter Mars conjunction. So lots of earth here, a little bit of air, a little bit of fire, and a little bit of water. Pretty good balance. And when it comes to um, the earth, air, fire, and water, I'm going to leave it there for now. That is Gucci Mane mini astrology reading.